Okay, everybody, today's situation, we are showing video of the GameCube and how to play your GameCube on these new 4K HDMI TVs, because this is important to everybody that loves their old stuff, and Nintendo is not making games like they're supposed to be. They should be re-coming out with all of their content from the past, backwards compatible with all games, and we're not seeing that. So, with Xbox and PlayStation, they try to get their backwards compatible stuff out there for everyone. And in this situation, we're just not seeing enough from them. That's why we have people like Analog 3D coming out, because we want to play our old games. And the HDMI TVs and the 4K TVs, you can't really play these on it and make it look good. So we're going to kind of go over this. This is what everybody uses pretty much. You can buy these online. They're pretty pricey. And it is an MK2, and it's a GC HD. So anyways, it comes like this, okay? So we're going to go over this. We have two different types of GameCubes and what you have to be aware of if you're getting something like this, okay? And we're going to show it being hooked up and everything, and then how to use it and all that. So this is how it's going to come. It's going to come in a neat little box that has strange things on it, So it looks like an old GameCube. And it's got these stickers that hold it together. And this is what the back of it looks like. Now, this is just a little box, but as you can see, another sticker. And then down here, it kind of shows you, everything that it says to do as far as every step and with your TV and all that. So as you'll notice down here, it says it's only compatible with the DOL001 model. Okay, and this is important. You gotta know before you buy, because anything after the fact, like this is the Platinum GameCube, and that is your changed model. It's changed. It's different. We're going to show you. And this one here is an old one. So the old ones are going to be, bluish purple or purple, and they're going to be black. And the newer ones that were like colored and stuff, and when the Platinum came out, like basically the Platinum one was like your Metroid Prime days and all of that, further along in the GameCube era. So on Amazon and other situations, you can buy these for those and other devices that are out there. And we're going to open these up and show you how these all work. And we're going to show you the compatibility and how everything is. And then also these controllers here, you can get these from Amazon, and they're really cheap and they're really cool looking. So we're going to kind of show you. I have personally about 16 GameCube controllers. The problem is you would get drift or a button that sticks after a while. I mean, we really played the hell out of this thing. And, so I have GameCube controllers of all colors for the whole system. And, I mean, I've got orange, you name it. I pretty much had everything they came out with. Now, I'm going to open these up here, and we're going to go over this. And I'm going to cut these tabs here and get into this, as far as it goes, and kind of show you exactly what is important about doing this, okay? And this is very important that everybody knows about this type of device, okay? So this is what's on the inside. It's kind of padded in here. So whenever you get this, looks like a little paper pamphlet here. And then they got the little instructions again, which are quite interesting, if I must say. I don't think any of this is really going to matter, because it's just telling you how you can do additional components and all that. And, you know, all of that stuff. So you can always pause the video and see if you need any kind of additional information. But you're going to get this if you get this. And let's see here. So this comes padded. We're kind of doing an unboxing of this here live. And then here is the device. So the device is pretty expensive for what it is. And it plugs into the back of the GameCube. And I heard stories about the original one having certain problems, but there's some scrape marks right there, as you can see. But this, the very first version of this, I think they said, like, was it MK1, had problems where it would fit real tight and stuff. And then you've got connectors out, and you have a button here for something. And we're going to find out what all that does. And then the HDMI side port, which is what everybody wants. This might be an upscaler button. We're going to find out what that button does. And it plugs into the back, and it's only usable on this model here. So that's very important to all you gamers out there. You really need to understand the importance of this. And then this here could probably be used for this system here. Now we're going to show you exactly what I mean. And everybody has made tons of videos on these online. I'm just kind of showing this as a backup. But what you're looking for on these models, okay, and people don't understand, but you'll see that the back here has those two ports for this device here, okay? So it's designed to fit in there, and you have the two ports, okay? And on this model here, it doesn't have the two ports. So you're kind of getting shafted there, huh? So this model versus this model, we're going to show what you're looking for. On the back of these, it says right here at the top, DOL001. Okay, so this is back in the day with GameCube. When it first came out, it's going to be a 001. Okay, and on this model here, you can see that the model number is different. It's 101. So if you're wanting to upscale with a premium product, I'm going to suggest that you, like say you have this old GameCube, I would say this product here is the one that you're really wanting, is what everybody really wants, you know. There are other options out there other than just this, and other than this, there's actually, is it Retrobit makes one? Now, I haven't bought the Retrobit one. I thought about it. I don't know if that goes for 60 bucks or what it's around there, but this here is like on Amazon. You'll find many different versions of this. And there'll be so many different types. Now, I'd already bought one of these, and it was bad with the way the pin's made because China is making everything these days. If you look on the back, it's going to say made in China, you know, and it says it works for N64, plug and play, but it's for the GameCube is what you're trying to do. The reality in this situation, everybody, is you really want something that's more quality built, so go ahead and spend the money, you know. I know everything's going to be probably China, right? But whenever you plug this in and it's all working, this lights up red. And I know that Retrobit, they make this component cable with the peanut butter and jelly with the full hookup. It's not HDMI, but it usually does pretty good from what I've seen. Now, this device here, it pretty much comes with everything you need. What you're really looking for when it comes to these retro hookup HDMI things, okay? What you're really looking for is something like this one, from what I am seeing and reading. So there is the HDMI port there. And as you can see, it's got some little vents because it might get hot. But on this side here, you have a switch right here to switch for 720 and 1080p, which is what you're wanting. One that has a switch, and then the other thing is power supply. Power. Now, because the signal from an N64 and a GameCube, the signal is pretty weak. What we're dealing with these days, people, are TVs that have higher end signals and higher power, more power consumes, etc. So if you're buying one of these off of Amazon or wherever, you're going to want one that has like a power. So that way it can up convert the power for the HDMI. That's what's very important, okay? Because the one that I had bought before, as you had seen in a previous video for the N64 video that I made, you'll see that it doesn't have this power, and it looked very dark, and their connector that goes into the device had problems where the pins were real crappy. And I don't know about these pins. They do seem a little funny, but we'll find out. If the pins are bad or whatever, then I'll be pretty mad, okay? But we'll find out. We're going to try both of these to see which one works best and what really is the deal. So it comes with the power cable in there. You'll see USB. You'll like plug it into either an outlet, or you'll have your little power one that's shaped funny, and then this USB. And that'll go into either a computer or any kind of power device that you have. So we're gonna show a few more things here. So obviously, I have your famous Game Boy player here, and it says DOL017, so 17. So it's kind of strange, it's kind of like a markup number from the DLs, but it does fit in the bottom of both of these consoles just fine. And then once you put it in there, there's two screws. Right here's a screw and here's a screw, okay? And you screw it down into there, and it's used to play Game Boy games, and I've had mine since the beginning of time. There's the eject button for the cartridge that you stick in there for the GameCube, or Game Boy games, I mean. So the Game Boy games, my disc is downstairs, but you have to have the disc that goes in here, and this goes into the bottom of the console right here, and it screws in, as you can see there, and over here. So it looks like they made this system to be really compatible with a lot of different stuff, and it looks like it was really quality built. I think the GameCube was probably one of the best and one of the most excellent systems built. So as far as it goes, if it ever comes to playing Game Boy games, I'm not going to use the Game Boy anymore because it starts getting lines in it and you have to like clean it or replace stuff. The Game Boy is out of date. It looks like crap. Nobody likes black and white or whatever, or should I say green and yellow. And nobody really likes the Game Boy colors because the screen's so small, and all those screens, you couldn't see anything. They had so many adaptations. So if I'm ever playing my old Game Boy games or whatever, it's gonna be using this on the GameCube because it's just, you got it on the big screen. It's so much cooler. Pokemon, Zelda games, all the other games, that's the way to go, people, especially Metroid games. So we're going to hook both of these up, showing which one works best, and this says for the N64 HDMI out, but we're not using an N64, we're using a GameCube. So it said this was for GameCube on there, and it's funny they send me one that says to 64. So it better work or I'm not going to be happy. Apparently there's still something else in there that's kind of stuck, so what is in there, people? We don't know. It's a surprise. Hey, look. It's an HDMI cable. That's probably junk. I don't even want it. It's like, why? It's probably like a 2-cent cable these days, right? I wouldn't trust that. Whatever. But we'll see. And then as far as if you're reusing or playing on your GameCubes, yeah, it's great having these original GameCube memory cards here, But this day and age, we have upconverted. This is super huge. It is a memory card that stores a ton of stuff, and you can get these on Amazon. I would say go bigger than little. Spend the extra $5 or whatever. Made in China, everybody. It says it's for GameCube and Wii. So it's got this little button that's right here on it, and you push that button to switch over to the other side of the card. So it's got a ton of blocks on this side and a ton of blocks on that side, and you push that button to switch. And, you know, as far as putting stuff on there, as far as game saves go, that's really excellent. Now, I'm going to show both of these, and I'm going to unwrap these controllers to show you how cool those are. So first we're going to undo the controllers, because original controllers are great and all, but sometimes these remade ones are kind of cool looking and you got to get them. So we're going to hook these up, show you how this works. So this one here, let's see here, can we do this real quick? So we have this device here, and as you can see, you know, it fits pretty tight. So I'm probably going to do that. I am holding instead of using a stand, but it does fit pretty tight. So I'm going to do all that in just a minute. And we're going to unpackage these and show you those. And then we're going to show you how it's hooked up and get on with the show. Okay, everybody, so we have everything hooked up here, and we have the controllers. It only took seconds to do this. But these controllers are really cool. They don't have the GameCube stamp on them, but they look really, really cool. And with them looking cool, it's got to be more updated than the original controllers, if you ask me. The controller, the buttons feel good or even better almost. They don't feel like maybe these triggers need a little working, but it feels like a brand new controller. I'm surprised. I figured they would be kind of cheap, and they were cheap, but it is what it is, right? So I got the 2-pack, and this green one is just phenomenal looking. I mean, just amazing. I love it. It looks amazing. It is what it is. I mean, as far as quality testing, we'll find out, but I'm thinking they're pretty decent for what they are, you know, as far as controllers go. I mean, we're going to make sure they work. And as you can see in this old style GameCube here, you have the hookup that goes right in, and you have your connector with the power that goes in and out, and it just plugs right in pretty dang easy. And I'm surprised this one fit in there perfectly without any kind of problems. However, this MK2 had a problem going in. It's like, who in the heck made this thing, right? So it was hard to kind of get in, and so I kind of started with this side of it kind of going in. In order for this thing to get in there, I actually kind of had to like shift it and kind of go in with this side first over here. So, and if you notice, there's a little bit of a gap, but you know that it's all the way in when it makes like an audible kind of click. So it made a click kind of noise once it got all the way in. And, you know, it seems like there's a little bit of a gap there. As you can see, it's kind of like at an angle. You know, it's not perfectly in there, like properly, in my opinion. So they're all kind of cheap knockoff ideas that humans have. It's ridiculous, right? So we're going to get this all hooked up with the HDMI coming out and with the HDMI coming out. And we're going to see which one looks better and kind of see what we can see with this setup we got, all right? And, you know, let's check it out. Okay, everybody, here we are once again, and we seem to be using the knockoff cheap one from Amazon that's like 20 bucks. So as you can see, I have an 8K cable here plugged in to this. Okay, this is an 8K cable, and I even tried a 1080p cable and a 4K cable, and they all work. So I stuck with the 8K just in case. Maybe it'll have better graphics, right? So the cheap one that has the power connector works great. I have it plugged in, and here we are plugged in, and this controller works great. And you're able to actually switch between games here, and everything works. It doesn't look too bad, to be honest with you. I don't remember there being lines in that. Like, why are there lines? You see the lines right there? So let's just kind of click on it and see. I would be trying to use OBS, but that requires me to set up some additional stuff, and we might still do that. OBS is kind of a pain in the butt because they make it to where you have to keep changing all kinds of settings and everything, and OBS just kind of gives you a headache more than anything. It works great with Xbox and PlayStation, but other than that, it's more like, hey, we got to go change this and change that, and it's just too much. So anyways, gonna kind of go into this. So it looks pretty good. The reason why I'm showing you it this way is because you'll see bleed through, or see if it looks like something looks funny. Okay. And so apparently my GameCube already has some stuff on here. Okay, so the memory cards are still working from 1923, everybody. Woo! It looks pretty damn good. I'm gonna be honest with you. I know my phone is like a 4K and 8K kind of display with phone and everything, but the controller, you know, as far as everything goes, seems to be working just fine. And I got my big shield and everything. Now you can't see it on here, but whenever I go in closer, you can see that Link looks a little shady for what he could be, you know. But as far as it goes, this is to use all types of games. So the cheap knockoff China is working great, everybody. Holy smokes! I'm impressed. I know that, you know, there is like, it's not perfect, right? But it looks pretty decent. And I wanted to show you hands-on. Now, if I can get the OBS set up, I'll show you gameplay. But, you know, it's always tinkering with what they have set up and creating a new thing. It says not supported with OBS. It kind of makes me want to pull my hair out more than anything, because I can connect a PlayStation or an Xbox, works right away. Has to do with graphics cards and settings, and we'll see if I feel like doing it. It's usually more like a headache. Like I said, there's other programs other than OBS. Everybody uses OBS because it's simple, free, and usable with most things. But I don't know if I'm as happy with OBS, really. You know, I think I'd rather pay for a premium service to stream all my stuff. And I'm just going to go there and say it, you know. I mean, if there's a better networking for the OBS that works even better than other people out there, then I'd love to use that probably. So, but what I wanted to say is this MK2 thing, took it out, plugged it back in, took it out, plugged it back in like 20 times here, okay, and made sure it was all the way in and everything. If you notice, this one kind of sticks out further than this one, and this right here is a power button. It's not like any kind of switch. I've tried holding down the power button, I've tried tapping it, I've tried everything, and it still doesn't light up red. I tried hooking into this, and I tried hooking into this, and still no power. So they say there's like an internal battery in these. I'm not too sure, but I would say send it back if it doesn't work. It's junk. This is like $200 something for this damn thing, and it don't even work. What, I have to keep buying them until I get one that works, you know? So the real trick here is, if you bought one of these and held on to it for a hot minute, and it's out of warranty with Amazon, well, then buy another one from Amazon and send this one back saying it's defective. Because to be honest, I don't know, I bought this a while back and I thought I would use it one day. And here I am biting the bullet on it because it don't power up. People say, you know, it's the power button or clean your connectors. No, I don't got to clean my connectors. This thing, once I bought this thing, it sat downstairs in one place. Never, ever got used, you know. I mean, it got used, but you know what I'm saying. It never got dirty. I always cleaned it and wiped it off, okay? Get out of town with that. I cleaned everything before I even started this video. So, this thing here apparently is some cheap China knockoff stuff, and it's very expensive. I don't know if it's 250 bucks or what it is. I think it was around 200, who knows, but it's overpriced. I'm definitely going to be getting a refund on it. I have tried many a times to get this to work. There's a lot of stuff online that says this thing is the best thing to use. Well, unfortunately, it may not be, because I heard there's like, it'll work one day and not work the other day. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. All kinds of stuff. I read the directions. I looked up videos. Let's just be honest here. I even held the button that it said to hold the B button or hold whatever button. Whatever, dude. Whatever, dude. Okay? So, as you can see, the games look pretty good. And I went ahead and reset. I'm using the cheap China knockoff for 20 bucks off of Amazon. And I'm just going to go there and say this, but it works great. Let's try this one. Oh, and the rumble feature, the controller rumbles. Holy moly. Wow. So it actually doesn't look too bad. It has a little bit of a blur, but I think if I were to buy me an upscaler, it might be better. So this definitely works better than the other ones. So obviously my files have not been saved, or they got erased, or it's on a different memory card, because I have a maxed out character. So, as you can see, the game doesn't seem to look too bad. It is kind of a little bit darker than it needs to be. Link looks pretty good, everybody. I don't know what to tell you, but 20 bucks, dude? Are you kidding me? 20 bucks. Okay, so I'm just really amazed that it's not too bad. Now, in order to get this to video capture and stuff to work, you know, it's just crazy, you know. I mean, I'm just surprised that it's even working. Wow, so as far as this picture goes, from what I'm seeing, is you may have to adjust the colors. It's a little dark. Okay, there's a little bit of darkness. You don't see it, but it seems pretty dark to me. Like on the sides here, this is kind of dark for what it is. I don't know if it's supposed to be like that. You know, you're talking old. Once again, this area is really dark, and that's kind of dark. I don't know if it's supposed to be like that, you know. I mean, you know, I could plug it into my old TV, but let's be honest here. So this screen looks kind of normal. I just don't remember it being this kind of dark, you know. It's just kind of dark. You may have to adjust. Like, I got my TV set to vibrant. It should be pretty bright, but I can brighten it up more for like gameplay. But it's not too bad. I'm surprised that everything is working so good. It is playable. This is what I'm talking about with Nintendo. This is the kind of shit we have to go through to get our games to play on these TVs. Can't you come out with a GameCube Mini, an N64 Mini, or at least on your dang Switch, let us buy the games again? You know, or come out with physical copies, actual physical copies of these games. okay? And have a master kit of these games. I don't understand. Do you Nintendo people not have ears or understand? You know, you guys are just thinking, oh, well, we're trying to make money off of new games. Well, your new games aren't very good, dude. You know, I'm going to be honest. That Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, I know you might be a fan or whatever, but I'm just going to be honest. That's not a Zelda game, in my opinion. You're using this wand and you can't even really, it's just not what we like. And this is what we like. So, if Nintendo ever hears this message, you need to wake up. It's all about backwards compatible. You bring the shit back, upgrade it, make it badass, do some visual textures, upgrade it. It's real simple. It's not impossible to do. Okay? I heard they're working on either a Twilight Princess or a Ocarina of Time now. It's long overdue, okay? And this should come out with every new system you guys make, like the Switch 2. If that's what's coming, you better have something, because you're going to fall very short. And then when you fall too short, Xbox is going to swoop in and buy your asses out. And that's just all I got to say about that. Because once you get bought out, it's over. Okay? You got to be able to lead like you used to lead. Okay? We need these games. If you can't do it, someone else will. Like Analog 3D. I mean, you know, look at the expenses we have to go to. Buying an Analog 3D from someone we don't even know that doesn't have a brand name on it. Or we're spending $20 on Amazon for this thing that actually works from China. And then, to make it even better, we buy these things, and we buy like 20 of them until we get one that actually works. I mean, come on. I even plugged this in with turning on the power, all kinds of stuff. I forced it, tried different stuff. It's just not working. It's going back. They sell me junk. You're going to get junk back. I don't know what the hell's wrong with you people. Anyways, I've looked at a lot of threads. I've seen videos on it. It was pushed in all the way. I even took it out, put it back in, took it out, put it back in 20 times, kept trying to do this video. And you're paying that kind of money, well, you're going to pay something. So what I'm going to suggest to everybody is buying the $20 one with the power supply, because this power is going to feed this HDMI cable to make it look good. And make sure you set that switch to 1080p. And then, if you're not buying this, then buy the Retrobit peanut butter and jelly cables that go to the back of this with the gold connectors. There's going to be, what, 6 cables or something that plug into the TV. That's your only other option. Seriously. These things here, as you can see, some people get them to work, some people don't. They say that there's an internal battery in here maybe that could be messed up, or it could be a hardware issue. I'm not going to call their customer support because they have junk, okay? Especially on a weekend. So, everybody, think about it. Some new Zelda games, everybody. Keep it real. Till next time. Okay, people. Here is what I had to do to try to solve this situation. Obviously, we have this, MK2 here that is not working. So I had to get another one because I want to see if this thing works. And then we have to find out, does this Retrobit actually do what it's supposed to do, right? So we got to find out, what is the best thing to use? And we're going to do that today. This is a continuation to the rest of the video. So this comes pretty simple. You know, it comes, it looks pretty simple as far as stuff goes. It has this remote that whenever you boot up the system, you have to use the remote to do stuff. There is a concern I have, like right here where it says the USB-C data port. Okay, there is no USB cable that it come with, okay? So a lot of people say, oh, Retrobit, that's the way to go, So we're going to find out and get to the bottom of this. And of course, it comes with a pamphlet, instructions, but it doesn't say anywhere in these instructions about the port that is on the side of this thing. You know, so I know this is for power, and it doesn't even say plug in a USB-C. It just says a USB-C port. It doesn't tell you to. Now, this is what that main side goes into. It says it's only for the DOO or the DOL 001 model, but technically it is what it is. So it is made in China, but it seems like it might be better. We'll find out. And then HDMI out, and then I guess this could be a power button. They don't go into a whole lot of detail, just like most Chinese products. So I've got a lot of different cables, and I was going to get like the real nice cable out of the other room that's used for like the charger for like a phone or something. But it is what it is, right? So I'm going USB-C to USB, and, you know, going to supply power. Now we're going to hook all this stuff up. We're going to check out this, and we're going to see if one of these actually work. Now what I was surprised is I ordered another one, right? And as you can see, this one has a damaged box. It seems to have some like fingerprints or some sort of marks all over it. And right there's like a whole bunch of stuff you can see, when the other box was like mint condition or perfect. So it was really weird they sent me this one. So I'm obviously going to send that one back because junk, right? I've heard a lot of reviews. I've done a lot of soul searching to try to figure out what the heck's going on with this thing. And a lot of people end up having to send these in and then wait weeks for them to get a reply and stuff. And basically they'll say, oh, it's, you know, your connectors. But no, my connectors on the back of this thing are clean as can be. I have multiple GameCubes, and this one here was always well kept and always works. They all work, but, you know, I'm just saying, you know, do I have to go grab each GameCube and stick it in there and see? I mean, it's so ridiculous, right? So anyways, we're going to go over this, and I'm going to use the remote here. Hopefully I don't need batteries, and it will work. A lot of people talk about, oh, does a battery in the remote work? Some people say, oh, this don't work. So there's a lot of misconception as to what actually works with the GameCube. Okay, so we're going to get to the bottom of this, and instead of me running it through the 8K cables and stuff, I'm actually going to downgrade to basic either 4K or 1080p kind of cable, you know. So that way we'll see. I'm going to plug it into a different outlet on the TV, because the TV has a whole bunch of 4K connectors, and then there's your basic HDMI. So we're going to go with the basic HDMI, and the reason being is because we need to find out, does that get rid of some of the darkness? Because the darkness is caused by not enough wattage, not enough signal, not enough, you know, all of that. So we're going to see which one does best. If this thing don't work again, I'm going to be really pissed, okay? Because, I mean, you know, I mean, I'm just saying right now, first off, we know Amazon's getting this thing back. You know, they're getting it back. It's coming back to you. And we also have this retro bit here. Now, see, the problem is whenever you buy this stuff, you really got to test it out right away. It either works or don't work, okay? So you never know. You go to do a video or go to show anybody something, and it's like, well, damned if you do, damned if you don't. So this box, it seems kind of cool. They've got their own website and their own stuff as far as information goes. And we'll see. We shall see. See, it says DOL 001. We got a lot to go over, and I got to make this quick because we don't need a 5 billion hour video, okay? So, like I said, with this retro bit, it doesn't say anything about plugging in to this USB-C, but I can tell you right now, that's what you're going to probably have to do for power for this thing. So it'll upscale. Anyways, let's get to the bottom of this and find out. Up next after it's hooked up. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, everybody. So here we have this one actually working. This little unit here for the HDMI. And you'll see that it's actually lit up this time. The other one that I had was fitting in kind of crooked, and I think it kind of messed it up a little. You do have to make sure your connections are clean, so take a Q-tip and thin out the Q-tip. And maybe use some rubbing alcohol very lightly. Make sure it's not dripping wet or nothing. And clean the ports. I tried the other one, it still don't work. You notice the other one was kind of bent funny, and this one is completely sealed all the way to the back, and the other one would not seal all the way to the back. So that other one is defective. However, though, so this MK2 thing, as you can see, it does work, okay? So supposedly it works. Now see, it's displaying right here for some reason, and there is options to use an IR remote. Now this is from Prism. I do have other IR remotes. IR remotes are old-fashioned infrared remotes that this would pick up and use, okay? So for people that buy this thing, be wary. You might get a defective one. I'm not kidding. And you got to watch out. Make sure those connections on this side, the connector that's closest to this side, is completely clean. Now, there are like IR remote settings where you'll use the IR remote to bring up the screen, and you push this button on the side here for that screen. And so you use this, and then I don't know if this even works, but it doesn't tell me. So I may have to buy a different IR remote, you know, because this here is, I don't think this is IR. I think this is maybe a new type of technology, okay? But you usually hold that down for a few seconds. Now, a lot of people are wondering, you know, what is it as far as it goes? Does it look better? So this does look pretty good. Let's try a game that looked dark before, okay? Because I know that Ocarina of Time, there is daytime and nighttime. And so I don't know if my character was on nighttime or not. See, it says something with my TV that I can set something up. And we're not trying to do that right now. We want to see... let's try this game here. Some people say don't use the rumble function because it might cause lag. Some of the problems I was seeing with this is sometimes it seems a little flashy on the screen, like the colors and stuff. So hopefully that's not the case all the time. So we're checking it out live using this without any question at all. Just a quick little character thing. Okay, so the screen looks really good. Okay, I'm not getting any darkness at all right here. So the background was a lot more dark. Let's try the menu. And I'm not seeing any darkness. It's not dark like it was before. It's not bad like it was on that Chinese one. Now here Link is kind of pixelated pretty bad. That sucks because I don't remember him looking that pixelated before. But it is trying to upconvert. So what people need to know when doing this looks pretty decent. You can see these lines right here. Those shouldn't be there. There's going to be some unquality related stuff, you know, as far as it goes. I don't know if that's going to mess anything up. I don't know why I would say that. But anyways, let's run them outside just real quick. I'm trying to, you know, make sure I've got the controller. I want to do this not just with it set up, but I want to be able to show you hands-on. You're going to be dealing with this. Other people are going to be dealing with this. And as you can see, I'm trying to play while looking. But, so your camera on your phone will brighten it up. Other cameras will brighten stuff up. So the picture is slightly a bit darker, but it's not like that Chinese one. So this looks pretty good right here, as you can see. Okay, as you can see right here, it looks pretty good. So this is playable. This is doable. So I got me a good one, guys. Here we are, looking good. And basically everything looks pretty decent. And so I would love to go over how the IR remote can work with this unit here. Supposedly you hold and push this button for a few seconds and then push a button on your little prism thing or your little IR remote. Now you can buy IR remotes or get a universal remote that's for an older TV, and it should work, anything that's IR. But I got one that works, thank God. But yes, you do have to clean your ports. I did extra clean it to make sure, using a light amount of rubbing alcohol. And you want to take a Q-tip and kind of strip the end of the Q-tip. Like I'll show you over here. Like, is this one of them? It's like trying to find you. So anyways, you kind of strip some of the cotton down to where it's a lot finer. Okay, and then you get it wet and you get it in there. And you can work it back and forth or up and down. You want it to air dry very thoroughly. And if you can, use a can of Indust. Spray it with some air and then blow in it with your own blowing. Whatever. And give it at least 5-10 minutes or something, right? But I've tried everything, like I said. And if you remember my other video showing, or the earlier video, that you're going to see this in order, so it is what it is. But this device was kind of crooked in there, and I mentioned that in the video. That's this one here. This thing's going back because it was in there kind of crooked, and no matter, I plugged it in and out, it's just junk. So now we're going to try the other one and see how good Prism works. Till the next one. Okay, so here we are once again. We're using the Retro Prism, and we're going to see what the difference looks like. Did we have these scan lines or these lines on the sides here before? I don't know. I don't see any flashing yet. Before on the other one, see, this one says that it looks like a higher resolution than the other one. But this one does use the IR remote, and yes, you do have to plug this in, because as soon as I plug that in, I got a power light. So you do have to plug in 4 power USB to this thing to power it. So it'll up convert it. And I think it might do a better job than actually, you know. Now you can see that there is some slight pixel differences. But all in all, it looks pretty decent. So it is pretty good looking here as far as it goes. I'm liking it. Let's take a look to see if there's any darkness on the main screen here. You still have that line down the middle here, whatever that's all about. I'm wondering if that has to do with my GameCube. You know, maybe a pathway, or if that's just natural, or if that's from these emulating things, you know. So once again, he is pixelated looking. Maybe that's how he was. It's been a long time, but it's not dark by any means. So it does look pretty decent as far as it goes. I'm liking it. I'm liking both of them. Now, you know, this controller is a little sensitive. The new controller. Oh, man. So, anyways, I'm just checking for darkness. We're looking for darkness. This should all be dark, and it's not. It's actually pretty well lit and pretty well good looking. So, once again, people, you can buy the $70 one, Retro Prism, or $80, whatever it is. And, or you can buy the MK2, which cost $150, $160 right now. You know, and as far as it goes, apparently you can use the IR remote. Let's try doing that. So apparently you push this button here that you can see on the side right there. So you kind of, and it brings up the screen right away. All I did was push the A button on here. Let's see if we can see that. You see that A button? And you can turn stuff on and it moves. So you want the scan lines off. And so we're going to go down to picture settings. And you can mess with saturation and all that stuff. You know, and so we don't really care about any of that. And then OSD or OSO, it looks like OSD to me. So there's all these different things. And it takes up full screen right now, so I'm happy with everything. It says you're in and out right there. So it is looking pretty good. And boy, oh boy, that's all I got to say. It's 480i at this point. I think we could kick that up a notch, you know. But they were all saying these do 1080p or they do 4K. That's a lie. Nothing can do that. You can't up-convert the signal that damn far. Who knows? You might be able to do some programming. You know, they say they have some programs where you can update these things, but I wouldn't do that. That's too dangerous. Use it as is. This is like a brand new TV. It's only like a year old. It's an 85-inch Sony flagship. The most expensive 85-inch you could buy at the time. So, as far as it goes, I'm working on your standard 1080p plug-in HDMI. I'm not plugged in with 4K cables or plugged in. I don't know if this cable is 4K and 1080p. I know it's a 1080p for sure. And it's not one of those 8K cables or 4K high-end cables because I've got too many of those. And whenever I plug those in or even try to run it to the thing, it may make it worse. So it may make it dark, and maybe that's why it was dark before with that Chinese one. But the Chinese one did work. It just wasn't that good. So these ones here, I would say people go with Retrobit. The MK2, for me to get one bad right off the bat is a big no-no in my book. So, good luck, everybody. Signing out. Until next time. Ho, 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 ho.
Zombie apocalypse.